Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 33, best sports show out. Highly opinionated. Stay a while. I'm your co-host, Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, the best co-host in the game, the host of the Club JG podcast, JG. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, boss? How are we living today, man?
We are living good, man. A lot of crazy things going on in this sports world. We can't wait to dissect in this episode, man. But it's a great time to be a sports fan, wouldn't you say?
Always is.
Always is. Never lie, never lie. By the way, first person to come on the show with a hockey jersey. Can you let the audience know what team that is? I ain't gonna lie, I know you, so let the world know.
Yeah, man. Every now and then I dabble in a little bit of hockey. For the past few years, I've been following the Vegas Golden Knights. For those who don't know, they're probably one of the newer NHL teams that came about. First started in 2017. They recently won a Stanley Cup championship a few years back, and I'm riding with them again as the NHL playoffs come close. That's the team I've been riding with. This team I'm about to go down on ship with. So he's the Vegas Golden Knights. Shout out to them.
Absolutely. One thing you'll learn, ladies and gentlemen, about JG, he only two East Coast teams only two East Coast teams he liked is the Maryland Terrapins. He played for them, and the Penn State Nittany Lions. He played for them. Other than that, the man would have been left to the West Coast. So I get it.
I still got my Ravens too.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Ravens. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh man, I'm sorry. The Ravens, the Terrapins, and the Nittany Lions. 60% of those teams you play for. So I get that. You got that. But yeah, the Ravens too. So thank you for letting the audience get a little bit familiar with hockey. As the hockey playoffs get here, we'll dive in a little bit into that as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the best editor, the best producer, the best guy on the show, Mr. Ross. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
It's good, Josh. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. Everything good with you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can't complain at all, man.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you guys for watching last week's show. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's show. Again, we aim to please to be the best sports show, the best content that you watch. We're not clickbait. We're not going to do stuff just to do stuff. These are our actual thoughts, our authentic thoughts, how we feel about sports. If you disagree, we would love to have you on. Any platform you want to reach us at, let us know. Speaking of that, Ross, why don't you let us know where they can reach us at on our social medias?
Yes, sir, Josh. And of course, this is a lot, so it will be right here on the screen for you. You can follow us on Instagram at Highly Opinionated __. You can follow us on TikTok at Highly Opinionated _SS. You can follow us on X or Twitter at Highly O_SS. And of course, y'all already on YouTube, so go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment. We will comment back.
Absolutely. We love the comments. We love the feedback. Whether it's JG, Ross, myself, Tim, whoever. Like, we love it all. We'll write back. And if you disagree, love to have you on the show. This is an open space for anybody. Black, white, gay, straight, Democrat, Republican. I don't give a damn. You have a feeling? Come on. Share how you feel. Open space. Show is called Highly Opinionated for a reason.
I do want to, Josh, real quick. This is a real random thing, but I want to give a special shout out to Aaron the Barber on YouTube, because when I say he comment on every video, he's always the first one. He's tuned in Wednesday mornings, and we appreciate that. We definitely appreciate that big time.
Absolutely, Aaron. Actually, Aaron is my barber. Love Aaron, man. He's great guy. Thankful for his support and everybody else who watches. I know it's a lot of other people who watch. They watch consistently. When we take a week off, they're like, man, what you doing? Did you quit the show? Like, what, did you get fired? I'm like, no, I work for myself. So, no, I didn't get fired. I didn't quit the show. Just take a week off. Something like the people on TV do. Or people in general, when they work, they take off from work. Nobody don't work 365. So, but we appreciate all the love and all the support. And again, people, it's a safe space, man. Come on. Share how you feel. We would love to interact and go back and forth. And, let's go at it from there.
Yes, sir.
Ross, again, man, you're the best producer, the best editor in the game. There is no Highly Opinionated without you, my brother. So just want to put that out there so the world could know. JG, the best co-host in the game. You ready to get episode 33 started, my brother?
Always. Let's get to it.
Let's start off with some NFL news. Let's start off with the Arizona Cardinals making Pro Bowl tight end Trey McBribe the highest paid tight end in NFL history, 4 years, $76 million extension. What do you think about the move? What do you think about the move? Do you think Trey McBride is on the come up? And what do you think Arizona is missing for them to get to the next step and maybe make the playoffs next season?
Trey McBride, first of all, definitely deserves this deal as a tight end. He is a guy that we do not pay enough attention to because the Arizona Cardinals have not been relevant for some time since he's been drafted. But this has been one of the best tight ends in football that doesn't get a lot of attention. A lot like Brock Bowers, who had a sensational rookie season, despite the fact of who his quarterback was. It didn't matter. whether it was Gardner Minshew, whether it was Aiden O'Connell, Desmond Ridder, whoever you want to throw out there, Brock Bowers is going to produce. So this is a tight end that deserves this money. I think Brock Bowers is eventually going to get his money coming sooner than later if he continues to on the crazy trajectory that he's on. But as far as the Cardinals, I got to tell you, there's been some talk that Kyler Murray could be possibly on the trading block during the draft for one Shedeur Sanders. It's just a rumor that I've been hearing about, but apparently the new owner for the Arizona Cardinals is not feeling Kyler Murray, so that could be something to watch. It's unlikely, but it's definitely a little bit of buzz that could be that could be that big surprise, like Michael Penix going to the Falcons last year type of thing that we could possibly see involving Shedeur Sanders and possibly Kyler Murray.
Yeah, I like Trey McBribe last year. 111 catches, 1,146 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So you got to get them touchdowns up. He only had 6 touchdowns in his career. 2 last year, 3 the second year, 1 in his rookie year. For me, Arizona, for one, to comment on what you said about Kyler Murray being traded, I wouldn't do that if I was Arizona. I like Shedeur Sanders. I'm not in love with Shedeur Sanders. I think Kyler Murray is a better prospect coming out than Shedeur Sanders is now. So I wouldn't do that. If you look at Arizona, I think they need to improve their defense, get their defensive line stout, and to get some actual corners in the known corners in the defensive back room. I think they should be, if a defensive lineman like Kenneth Grant is still on the board, Mason Grant from Michigan, or my man Will Johnson fall, they need to run. They need to fly from Arizona to Green Bay and hand that card to the commissioner. I think Will Johnson would be a great fit, a defensive tackle, an edge rusher in Arizona, go along with the edge rusher Robinson that they drafted last year in the first round. I don't think Arizona's that far away. Seattle's going to take a step back, in my opinion. We don't know what the 49ers will be. They're releasing new people. I think the Rams is the class of that division, but you never know what can happen with Arizona. They were playing good at some points in last season before they faltered. So I wouldn't trade Kyler Murray. I'm glad that they gave him Trey McBride. I do need one more thing for Kyler. I do need him to get his rapport with Marvin Harrison Jr. down. That needs to get better. That has to get better. If that doesn't get better, they will regret drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. with the 4th pick. Could have had Malik Neighbors, could have had a defensive player, could have had whatever they wanted. So they have to get that relationship on point. And if they do that, everything should be fine.
I get what you're saying about the rapport with Marvin Harrison Jr. Obviously, this is a rookie season, so it's brand new. But my question is, do you really trust Kyler Murray? My question to you.
Yes, I trust Kyler Murray that if he has the right situation around him, could he make the playoffs? Yes. Now, do I trust Kyler Murray that I think he's the sole reason why you can win the Super Bowl? No, I do not. I think he needs help around him.
I don't know, man. I just feel like at this point, like Kyler Murray, like what more do you need? You got 2 decent receivers. You got a great tight end. Arizona's offense actually wasn't that bad when you think about it statistically. But like you said, the defense definitely needs work. But he's had the coaches at a time. He had better teams. It's just like I feel like Kyler Murray has underperformed more than performed at his best, in my opinion. That's why it didn't really surprise me when I heard these rumors about, are you sure that the Cardinals are really sold on Kyler continuing to be their long-term option, or are they ready to hit the reset button? It wouldn't totally shock me. I don't think it's the best interest. I don't think it would be in the best interest of the team where they are right now. I agree with you on that. But at the same time, I don't think it would surprise me, just given the reports that we've heard about Kyler Murray and people questioning his commitment and questioning if he really is the long-term solution that can help you win games and eventually become a contender.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You definitely can have questions about him because he hasn't done anything in the NFL to really calm those questions down, whether it's the contract he signed with the video game clause in it, got to study more and all that. So obviously that stuff is going to be there with him. But yeah, for me, they need to improve that defense. If they improve that defense, then I can have a real fair assessment of him. They don't have to have the 85 Chicago Bears. But their defense the past couple of years, they've been just running out corners. Hey, you play corner, run out there. Like, that's not going to work. It's not going to work. You got to have guys that can actually play the position and play it well. So we'll see what Arizona do, but good job. I'm happy for Trey McBride, one of the best up-and-coming emerging tight ends in the NFL. I'm glad he got his money. Next, former 49ers and Cowboys quarterback Trey Lance signed a 1-year deal up to $6.2 million with the LA Chargers. I like that move for the Chargers. I remember I'm not saying I don't think Trey Lance will overtake Justin Herbert, but I think Jim Harbaugh can work with Trey Lance and get the best out of him, kind of like he did with Colin Kaepernick. So I love the move for Trey Lance. Hopefully he can develop. He can learn from Justin Herbert. He can learn from the quarterback's coach, and he can learn from Jim Harbaugh, who was actually a quarterback and took a team to an AFC Championship game and lost on the last play in Pittsburgh. So,
yeah, like you hit around the head. For Trey Lance, this is a young player that got drafted way too high. Obviously was not prepared. This was a kid that unfairly was put into a tough situation. I mean, he came out very inexperienced, a lot like we've seen with Anthony Richardson right now, and just kind of got thrown into the fire. Had some bad luck with injuries. Showed some signs in Dallas, although he was turning the ball over a little bit too much. Jim Harbaugh is a great coach to work with a young quarterback like Trey Lance. So I think this gives him a chance to really sit down and study. Like, not that he wasn't last year with Dak Prescott, but it gives him another opportunity to do that with Justin Herbert. And again, I just think Jim Harbaugh is like one of the best coaches to have for a young quarterback like Justin Herbert and like Trey Lance. No disrespect to Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, but I think this would be a much better atmosphere for a guy like Trey Lance and at this point in his career.
Yeah, Jim builds his quarterbacks up. Let's go back from wherever he was at. He builds them up. Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Justin Herbert, J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. He builds you up, and I love that. Like, you have to build your quarterback up. Hey, man, you're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about it. Let's get the next play. So I love Jim. Everybody knows I'm not a Chargers fan, but I was cold on the Chargers before they got Jim. Like I said, I like Jim as the coach of the Chargers, and I like the impact that he can have on Trey Lance. If Trey Lance can't get it done with Jim Harbaugh, then I think we obviously know what's up. Because Jim Harbaugh will make it as positive around you as it can be. Whether he hitting you on the shoulder pads, hitting you in your helmet, getting you right or whatever. So I like the move for Trey. I like the move for Trey Lance, and I like the move for the LA Chargers. Our last topic, another veteran quarterback, Case Keenum, signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Chicago Bears. Now, it's not a big deal, but to me it's a big deal because Case Keenum is a veteran. Caleb Williams struggled last year. And he really didn't, in my opinion, he really didn't have that great veteran leadership behind him that can say, hey, Caleb, I'm not as good as you, but I've seen this before. I've seen that before. This is what you should do. This is what I've done. Love the move for the Chicago Bears. I think the Chicago Bears has had a sneaky good offseason. Case Keenum shouldn't play, but his value should be building up Caleb Williams, along with Ben Johnson, the new head coach for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, 1,000% agree. We should not be seeing Case Keenum on the football field. I'm not even going to lie to you, Josh. I was surprised that Case Keenum was even still an active player. I thought this guy retired, if I'm being totally honest with you. But like you said, for Caleb Williams, there's no more excuses in my opinion. I mean, yeah, tough rookie season, bad offensive line, quite frankly. The Bears addressed that. Ben Johnson and this front office for Chicago Bears, they addressed that. They went out and signed offensive linemen and free agents. You expect them to get more offensive line help in the draft. You've got weapons on the outside. You've got a decent running game. The Bears as a team are definitely going to improve. We're going to be now looking squarely at you, Caleb Williams. Like, what is your development going to be going into year 2? Because since Patrick Mahomes, like, we're not doing the whole wait and see anymore to like year 4, year 5. Now we got to start seeing that in year 2. You can blame Patrick Mahomes for the amazing sophomore/rookie campaign that he had. Basically reset everyone's expectations for quarterbacks being drafted that high. So for Caleb Williams, you're going to get your offensive line help. You're going to get the right weapons around you, and you've got the right coach around you with Ben Johnson. He's an offensive mind, and he understands how to work with quarterbacks. We saw the success he had in Detroit with Jared Goff. So I don't see why Caleb Williams should not have a significant improvement from last season.
I would agree. They got weapons. They got the offensive coach. Matt Eberflus was a defensive coach. So they have an offensive coach now that can read the room with Caleb. You got a veteran backup. And again, the Bears have all their picks, and they went out and signed some guys. So the Bears, I think, should definitely say it again.
Good defense too.
Definitely good defense. So the Bears should be, if not a borderline playoff team, the Bears should make the playoffs next year, in my opinion. If Caleb Williams is what they said he was, should lead them to the playoffs. You got everything you need. Improved defense. You got a real head coach. So, like Caleb Williams, the world is yours. We just living in it. Let's see what you do with it. Our last topic on the NFL offseason, a sneaky trade in the NFL. The New England Patriots traded Joe Milton III to the Dallas Cowboys. They traded late round picks. The Cowboys got Milton in the 2025 7th-round pick from the Patriots, and the Patriots got a 5th rounder from the Cowboys. So 2 draft picks, or 2 lower round draft picks, and Joe Milton got traded from the New England Patriots to the Dallas Cowboys. What do you think about that move? How do you like that move?
A sneaky good move by the Cowboys, I must say. You're adding a mobile quarterback with an uber amount of talent and a high ceiling than Joe Milton, quite frankly. You know, young quarterback that again can learn from a veteran quarterback like Dak Prescott, who's been around for a long time, has had a lot of success individually as a quarterback. When we talk about statistics, the Cowboys need star power. Joe Milton has the ability to be a star. And I got to be honest with you, I think the Patriots did the right thing by moving on with Joe Milton because I think they know that he's a little better than Drake May. I got to be honest with you. What I saw in the preseason last year, I saw a quarterback that was a lot more ready to play than Drake May was. Not to say that Drake May doesn't have a chance to still be a great quarterback. You know, the Patriots are very sold on him. They went ahead and got him weapons and really buffered that defense in the offseason. But I got to tell you, last year I saw a lot from Joe Milton that I wasn't seeing from Drake May, and I think there would have been a budding quarterback controversy had Drake May started out slow next season, but Joe Milton showed out like he did. If Joe Milton showed out again like he did preseason last year, I think we would have had a budding quarterback controversy. So I think this was a sneaky good move by the Cowboys, but an even sneakier move by the Patriots, protecting their young franchise quarterback, Drake May.
Yeah, the Patriots have experience with that. Kind of different situation, but obviously Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady. They saw Tom Brady could play. They traded Drew Bledsoe away. I never thought about that perspective that you gave with Drake May being better. Joe Milton. I'm sorry, Joe Milton being better than Drake May. I will say Joe Milton showed me that if he had to play quarterback in the NFL, he could do it. He had the regular season game against Buffalo. Patriots won that game, so it's not like he can't play. I like the move for the Cowboys. I like the move for the Patriots, as you said. There is one team I felt like should have been interested in Joe Milton, and that is the team that signed Cooper Rush, and that would be the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens have a system in place where they use a mobile quarterback. Let's go back. They signed Josh Johnson. They signed Tyler Huntley. I think Joe Milton is actually better than both of those guys. So you can build. Joe Milton's not going to take Lamar Jackson's spot unless he gets hurt. Joe Milton's not going to take Dak Prescott's spot unless he gets hurt. But the Ravens, you have a backup quarterback that plays somewhat of the same way that your starting quarterback does. So it fits the scheme. Cooper Rush doesn't play like Lamar Jackson. That'd be like the Ravens having Lamar Jackson and then Joe Flacco as the backup. Cooper Rush is more Joe Flacco than he is Lamar Jackson. And he's not Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco is better than Cooper Rush. But my point is that I thought the Baltimore Ravens should have made that move instead of going after Cooper Rush. I feel like Joe Milton could have fit their scheme, fit what they were looking for, and he's mobile like Lamar Jackson.
No, I agree with you on that. You know, the system, speaks for itself. Really would have been really good for a young quarterback like Joe Milton to be in that system with Lamar Jackson and learn how he plays. A team that I thought that should have traded for Joe Milton is the one that is still waiting for Aaron Rodgers. Hilariously, by the way, the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's nothing that Mike Tomlin can say or do that's going to make me believe that he's sold on Mason Rudolph being QB1 possibly by the start of the season. They're holding out hope that Aaron Rodgers does not retire and that he actually signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I've never seen a Steelers team wait on a quarterback to figure out what he wants to do. It's not typical for them. It's not typical for Mike Tomlin that I've seen over the years. This is a very different situation. Aaron Rodgers is loving this right now, I'm sure, because he loves being in control and love being the center of attention. So it's very interesting how this situation has not played itself out still. There's rumors that we might be hearing about something with Aaron Rodgers the next day or so. Who knows with this guy? Might be going back to another Dartist retreat for all I know. But I'm a little shocked that they didn't try to go after Joe Milton. You had a young mobile quarterback that was playing well for you last year in Justin Fields. You allowed that guy to get signed by the New York Jets. You weren't sold on Russ, so you let him go ahead and go to the Giants. So now you're stuck with Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson currently in your quarterback room as you wait for Aaron Rodgers. I think Joe Milton would have been an interesting trade, and honestly, it would have made me pay more attention to the Steelers because I believe in this kid Joe Milton. I've watched him while he was at Tennessee. He's got a ton of ability, and if he's with the right situation and good coaching, who can hold that skill set, Joe Milton has the ability to possibly be a starting quarterback one day in the NFL if given the right circumstances.
I don't disagree with that. A lot of these quarterbacks is all about play, situation, and fit. So Joe Milton, that would be the same thing with him, play, situation, and fit. For me, like I said, I thought the Ravens should have been interested. I get your point about the Steelers, but the Steelers have a veteran leading team, so they can't depend. They were putting their faith in the rookie. So they might as well be all Rodgers in or all Rodgers out. Now, Rodgers don't sign there, I get that, but I think the widespread thoughts is that Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with the Steelers. So
I hear you on that, but look, I gotta say, you've been trying this veteran quarterback thing for a while, ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired. And what does that yielded you? You're currently have the longest active streak of not winning a playoff game right now. So at some point in time, you're going to have to rob with a young quarterback out of the draft or possibly via trade, because what you've been doing has not been working. You're wasting a Hall of Fame defense with Cam Hayward, T.J. Watt, and Minka Fitzpatrick. I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I recognize the talent there. And I think what the Steelers are doing has not been working. It's time to go in a different direction. I think if they had signed Joe Milton, it would have been sneaky good in my opinion. I think probably better than people would realize. Yeah, I'm not going to look like with Aaron Rodgers. I know that he's been throwing at DK Metcalf and all that. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I just know that what I've seen with them bringing in veteran quarterbacks that are leaving former teams and all that, it hasn't worked out for the Steelers.
No, you're right. You're right. And they definitely should try something different. But I feel like with this team that they have, I feel like they should give a veteran one more chance. Now, if it doesn't work this year, then obviously they'll do that. But the team that they had, bro, they were in the playoffs. They didn't play the Ravens tough, but they were in the playoffs. Joe Milton, I don't know if he could play better than Russell. Well, Russ is better. Well, was better. I don't know if he's better now, but Russ was better. They had a veteran, I don't think the Steelers meshed their last year the way they should have. I like Joe Milton, but I just think with the Steelers is not the right situation because they're in win now mode. Other teams, another team he's not going to Carolina, but like a Carolina, he could grow with them. New Orleans should have made the trade. You can have your replacement for Derek Carr right there. So it's a couple teams. Again, he's going to be a backup. I thought the Ravens should have definitely, jumped on that and pounced on that. But New Orleans could have been a spot that they could have traded for him. He could have started.
New Orleans kind of reminds me of Shedeur Sanders. Like there's been rumors about in the NFL draft that Shedeur Sanders might be falling in the NFL draft. Real quick, what are your thoughts on that? The latest mock draft from Mel Kiper has Shedeur Sanders falling to number 9. There's rumors that he possibly could fall farther. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he'll probably fall further down. The quarterback, I'm not saying that this quarterback is better, but the quarterback who I said a couple months ago will be a top 10 pick, and I'm standing on it, is Jackson Dart. Now, I don't know where that'll be at, but I think he'll be a top 10 pick. I like Shedeur Sanders. If you ask me, I think Cam Ward's the best quarterback in the class. Shedeur Sanders is the second best quarterback in the class, and Jackson Dart is the third best quarterback in the class. So, but also a lot of these teams need defense. You found me? So that's that pushes quarterbacks and skill players down. So for me, I would not be shocked if Shedeur Sanders is drafted outside of the top 5. I wouldn't be shocked if he's drafted. I'll put it to you like this. You said the Steelers should go young. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers are on the clock and Shedeur Sanders is right there for them to take. I would not be surprised by that.
You're going right in my direction, brother. Like I was thinking that same thing. Like if Shedeur doesn't get drafted at number 9 by the Saints, I can definitely see Pittsburgh picking him up at number 21. That's what they're drafting this year. And Jackson Dart, by all accounts, the rumor is the Saints love him. So it wouldn't shock me either if this guy ends up being a top 10 pick as well.
Because the Saints know this is Derek Carr's last year. They know that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Derek Carr's last year in New Orleans. This season coming up will be his last season in New Orleans. So they have to look for their quarterback too. Again, Joe Milton would have been good. Maybe they like Jackson Dart. So fun times in the NFL. NFL draft is coming up very, very soon. Can't wait, my brother. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our first break here on Highly Opinionated. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is sponsored by Wolves of War. In some of the episodes, you can see my co-host and Ross wearing a brand called Wolves of War. Wolves of War is our first sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, and we are so thankful to have those guys sponsoring Highly Opinionated. Thank you very much. The actual meaning of Wolves of War is that it represents having a strong path behind you through the battles of life. With the right people behind you, you can get through anything. You guys see the link for Wolves of War? Make sure you guys click on the link, shop, great apparels, t-shirts, sweatsuits, whatever you want, they have. Once again, Wolves of War. Make sure you guys go shop. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Highly Opinionated. Ladies and gentlemen, the best segment in sports. This week's edition of Let's Talk About It. Breaking news. The Denver Nuggets have fired Mike Malone. Same Mike Malone that took them to a championship a couple seasons ago. They fired Mike Malone. They've also fired general manager Calvin Booth. John, the Denver Nuggets have 5 games left before the end of the regular season. As of right now, they have the same, they have 26 losses. So they're in a jumble group with the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Memphis Grizzlies. What's your thought process on them firing Mike Malone? Floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of people, I was definitely shocked. Michael Malone just won a championship with Denver in 2023. But then I started hearing about a little bit more about what could contribute to him being fired. And to piggyback off what you said about the records, Denver could find themselves as low as number 8 and be in the play-in possibly because of the tiebreaker situation with those teams that you mentioned that all have the same record. There's a tiebreaker situation where Denver could either be 4 or they could slide all the way to number 8 within this last week of the NBA regular season, which is nuts to think about given how good Denver really is. There's been reports that Mike Malone has called out his players on not watching film. He's called them out on basically being fake and full of you know what. And I think those conversations might have been, festering to the point where the front office thought it was time to make a change. I was watching NBA Today earlier. Kendrick Perkins on ESPN had pointed out showed us some film when they lost to the Indiana Pacers. The effort on defense is atrocious. It's like they don't really care and they're not listening to their coach. You can see Mike Malone screaming and shouting on the sideline, but Denver has not been responding to that. So when you see that, your thought is, oh, they either don't give a damn or they've lost their coach completely. I won't say that Denver doesn't give a damn because they are still going to be in the playoffs. They're still a quality team in the NBA with the pieces that they can to get to the finals. Quite frankly, they can compete in the West. Let's not forget they have one of the best players, if not the best player in the game, in Nikola Jokic. But you saw a lot of lackluster defense, and it's been the theme for Denver ever since the All-Star break. Defense has gone downhill. They've been so dependent on Jokic bailing them out because he's been so spectacular. They've been so dependent on him just bailing them out. Jamal Murray's been in and out of the lineup. He's been dealing with a hamstring injury as of late, so we're not sure when he's going to be back playing. That's a big deal, obviously, for Denver because he's their second best player when he is healthy. Michael Porter Jr. has been, inconsistent. At times great, at times you don't know he's out there. So there's a lot going on, I think, with the effort. And when you look at effort, you look at the players first because they're the ones playing the game. But then you start looking at the coaching staff. Well, what's going on? Why are they not listening to you? So this new coach, Adelman, who's the son of Rick Adelman, the great legendary coach we used to have in the NBA.
David Adelman is the newest interim head coach.
Yes, David Adelman, I appreciate that. So we'll see what he's got, but I've never seen a team I've never seen an interim coach, so to speak, take a team to the finals after a team fires a coach this late in the season with a winning record after just winning the championship in 2023. And I gotta say, man, this makes me look at a certain team in Los Angeles that the West is starting to become more and more wide open. The Lakers just took out Oklahoma City by 27 points. Granted, it's a regular season game. I get all of that, but you have to think about what kind of psychological effect it could possibly have on a young team like Oklahoma City if they run into the Lakers in the West Finals. And you look down the standings, do you really see a team that you're convinced will take out the Lakers? I'm not after what I saw against Oklahoma City. I had my reservations before, but now after seeing that, the way that they beat them, now granted, the Lakers shot ridiculous from 3-point range. 15 threes in the first half?
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen. But looking at how they play, and just the Lakers are big on in their backcourt, especially with Luka, Reeves, LeBron at times will slide from anywhere from 3 to the 5. They got Jackson Hayes, they got Dorian Finney-Smith, they got big guards. So you wonder if that's going to be problematic. Not for Shea. I'm not worried about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, but I worry about Jamal Williams. Is he really going to step up in the postseason? Are we sure that Chet Holmgren is going to step up and live up to
Jalen Williams?
I'm sorry, Jalen Williams. Well, is he going to do what we've seen in the regular season? We sure about Chet Holmgren? Houston Rockets. I said it before. These kids they don't know what they're doing. They're just playing basketball with a fantastic head coach in Ime Udoka. But do you really believe in them in the playoffs when it comes against a veteran team like the Lakers or the Warriors or the LA Clippers? They got to mention them as well. Memphis just fired their coach. We don't know what their identity is right now. Do we really trust Ja Morant in the playoffs that he's going to be able to get it done? I don't know. And now Denver, we don't know what they're going to be now since they lost their coach. So all these top teams that we've been seeing all season long, we're kind of, well, for me anyway, there's questions that are being raised as we draw closer to the postseason. And a lot of these questions I think are favoring the veteran teams like the Lakers, Clippers, and maybe the Golden State Warriors.
A lot there to unpack. You want me to start with the teams I think are contenders? You want me to start with Mike Malone?
Four years, bro. I was just spitting. You go and go.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay, I love it. So let's do with the teams that are contenders. I don't hate the Lakers. I don't like how the Lakers are covered on TV, but I don't hate the Lakers. I don't hate LeBron James. I hate that they try to make everything about LeBron James. For example, Alexander Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's goal record on ESPN. You know the show I'm talking about. I don't like giving the show credit. You know what show it is. Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith turned PK Subban turned Alexander Ovechkin's moment into who's more feared, LeBron, Kobe, or Jordan. I'm not going to do that. Let me just say this. Congratulations to Alexander Ovechkin for breaking Wayne Gretzky's NHL scoring record, goals record. That's a hell of an achievement. Congratulations to him.
OV.
Now, to your point about the teams that are contenders, I think the Thunder I think there are 4 contenders in the West. The Thunder, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Clippers. Now let me start with the Clippers first, because I picked the Clippers multiple years in a row to win the championship. They haven't, because Kawhi Leonard, in my opinion, the best player on the team has gotten hurt. Again, big if on the Clippers. If the Clippers can stay healthy, yeah, they have a chance to get to the finals. Because I don't believe in Denver. They fired their head coach. I never believed in Memphis. Ja Morant, I think you're a hell of a player, but you gotta get that gangster mentality about you. All them pointing guns and out, bro. No, you're in the NBA. You want to shoot something, shoot the ball, let it go in the rim. That's what you do. Well, let it go in the net. So I never thought Memphis was a contender. Houston, ladies and gentlemen, when John was talking, I was doing this. Most of the people that watch this show, they either have kids, have nieces and nephews. They're wet. Houston is wet behind the ears, so I know what that is. Don't trust in Houston. Don't believe in Memphis. Who else is in there? Now Denver lost their head coach, so now they can't really truly believe in them. Never seen David Alleman in that position.
The Wolves.
And who's the last team? Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen. I've been told y'all Anthony Edwards wasn't a superstar. I'm just standing on business. I'm waiting for the rest of y'all. I know some people. I ain't gonna mention no names. I know some people came around. I'm waiting for the rest of y'all to come around too. So I think the West is a 4-team race. The Thunder, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Warriors. One of those 4 teams I think will be in the NBA Finals. Now the Denver Nuggets firing Mike Malone. I understand your points about what you said about them firing Mike Malone. I understand what Kendrick Perkins said on NBA Today. I understand what Shams Charania, Ramona Shelburne, people on FS1, Chris Broussard. I understand what all those guys said. It still doesn't make no sense. You said something very, very interesting to me. You said you watch and you see the lack of defense. And the first thing you do is you look at the players, and then you say you look at the coach. Brother, you're missing something. So let me give you, you mentioned the Denver Nuggets win the championship in 2023. On that roster, they had Christian Braun, Bruce Brown, defender, Thomas Bryant, defender, rebounder, Kentavious Pope, Caldwell Pope, 3-and-D guy, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, veteran leadership, Bones Highland, Reggie Jackson, Nikola Jokic, DeAndre Jordan, rebounding and defense, Jamal Murray, Michael Porter, Ish Smith, Peyton Watson, Jack White, and Zeke Naji, if I'm pronouncing his name. And they had somebody on there named Valko. I can't pronounce his name. I know I'm butchering his name. Kansara. I'm bad. He's from Serbia. I'm bad. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Sir, that 2023 team had defenders. This Nuggets team doesn't have that. I'm not blaming Mike Malone. I get on people all the time. If you're not doing your job, you need to be called out. I have no problem with him calling out the team because you're lackluster on defense or you giving half-ass effort. The person who needs to be looked at is also the other person who got fired, Calvin Booth. Nikola Jokic is in his prime. I know a guy, I ain't gonna say no names, I think y'all can figure it out. I know a guy that played with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving and went to the media and said, this team top-heavy as shit. Nikola Jokic ain't got the help that he should have to be competing for championships. Nikola Jokic needs help. And I ain't even one of them guys that come out and say that. This team ain't winning no championship. You can make a case their 4th best player is Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was their big offseason signing. I'm not shitting on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, is a top 5 point guard all time. He's a hell of a player. But he shouldn't be your best move now at 36.
He's played well for them.
He has, but I'm saying he shouldn't be your best free agent signing during the offseason. That's what I'm saying. They should have found a way to keep KCP. They should have found a way to keep Bruce Brown. Okay, you didn't keep Bruce Brown. Maybe Russ could fill that role. You around Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, you have to have 3-and-D guys around them. You can't just have offensive players around them. they're not great defenders. Jamal Murray is not a great defender. Nikola Jokic is not a great defender. So you have to have the right pieces around them. I'm blaming Calvin. Yes, Mike Malone should get some blame, of course. But he got fired 5 games left in the regular season. That's crazy. That's asinine, ass of 10, ass a million. That's part of my language. That's dumb as shit. If he fails, let him get fired after the season. At least let him take this team into the playoffs. You never know what can happen. They not, sir. If they weren't listening to Mike Malone, why the hell would they listen to David Allen? He ain't never been a coach. He's been an assistant coach. He ain't never sat in that main chair. So I wish the Nuggets well, but this was stupid. I mean, this is flat out dumb. Like, if he doesn't win the playoffs, then fire him. And let me say this. You said that the Rockets are wet behind their ears. What's wrong with being in the play-in, being the 7th seed, and playing the Rockets in the first round, a team that you feel like that can be beaten, that can be beat because they're wet behind the ears? I'll take it a step further. Let's say the Clippers don't get one of them top 6 seeds. Love the Clippers to be the 7th seed. I would pick them to beat the Rockets.
I would too.
So my point is that it's nothing wrong. Now, being the 8th seed, you might be in trouble, but in the first round. But the 7th seed, you play the Rockets. Why couldn't the Clippers beat the Rockets? Why couldn't the Nuggets beat the Rockets? Why couldn't the Lakers beat the Rockets? Why couldn't the Warriors beat the Rockets? Hell, Minnesota might beat them. And I'm not big on Minnesota, but they might beat the Rockets. The Denver Nuggets, they've lost their mind by firing this guy at this point in time, by firing Mike Malone at this point in time. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna just give y'all the most known unknown secret in America. Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic want to play with each other. Now, how they gonna make that work, I don't know. But you can see at these All-Star games and these festivities that they both at, they're very fond of each other. So again, I don't know how that's gonna work. It might work in your favor. I don't know, but I'm just saying, Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic want to play together. I think this move, small moves that the Nuggets have made, not signing KC, the Nuggets should have brought the championship team back. And then if they lose, they lose. They didn't do that. The moves that they made with player personnel, general manager, and now the coach, I'm not saying Nikola Jokic should be asking for a trade, but again, Nikola Jokic needs more help. Straight up.
It wouldn't. I see Kevin Durant going to the Lakers before Nikola Jokic, but that is a very enticing trade idea. That could be Shaq and Kobe of Europe, in my opinion.
So I don't know how that will work. I know the Nuggets don't want to trade him to the Lakers, but if he said he wanted to go to, maybe Lucas say, I want to go to Denver. I don't know how it will work, but I'm just saying, you can see Luka likes Nikola Jokic, and Nikola Jokic likes playing. They like being around each other. So you can see them being on the same team. You can see it seamlessly working. They kind of play the same way. And I feel like Luka Doncic is a little bit of a ball hog. He wouldn't have the ball hog with that guy. That guy can get him easier buckets. So again, do not know why the Nuggets made this decision this late into the season. If you were going to fire him at the end of the season. Let him go through the playoffs, let him lose. You're justified. Hey, he was here 10 years. Let's do something else. But the way he got fired with 5 games left in the season, that was unfair to a championship coach who should be given the opportunity. Who has earned the opportunity to take this team to the playoffs. Bro, let's roll the balls out. Let's play. Whatever happened, happened.
I hear that. I think
NBA is crazy.
Yeah, I think Malone's firing was premature. I would understand the GM. I definitely would understand the GM because like you said, you didn't bring back the guys that were key components for your championship team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think in the NBA we forget that sometimes there's 2 sides of the ball you have to play. It's not football where there's teams specifically playing offense and then specifically playing defense. You got 10 guys out there who are playing both sides. And I think at times a lot of NBA teams forget that because we're so focused on offense. You think that everyone can just outscore somebody. There's going to be nights where shots aren't going to fall. What are you going to do on the defensive end to still try and win games? It's going to happen in the playoffs.
You're 100% right. Two sides to a floor. I've been saying that to everybody for years. People know that. You can have all the offense in the world. If you can't get stops, you're not going to win. We'll get to this later on in the show. Ladies and gentlemen, the Florida Gators won the men's national championship. They didn't win the game because of offense. They scored. They didn't win because of offense. Offense can take you there. You have to have both offense and defense. That's why I look at players the way I look at them. For example, you mentioned the Lakers. Austin Reeves. He's better than what I thought. He's not a YMCA basketball player. He's a professional NBA basketball player. But then people take it out of, then they take this out of this world. Talking about, well, yeah, you know, he can average 25. He could be an all-star. Bro, listen, he's a good NBA player. If you want to say very good, that's fine. That's what he is. Like, we don't need to make people more than what they are. We don't need to make people less than what they are. I was wrong on the brother. Oh, I shouldn't say brother. I was wrong on Austin Reeves, the guy. Like, he's a good basketball player. He's a good basketball player. You want to say very good? Fine. But you have to play offense. You have to play defense, too. He's a defensive liability. And that, I think that'll be one of the reasons why the Lakers may slip up in the playoffs. Their three best players can't play defense. Well, I can't say can't play defense, but LeBron's older. Austin Reeves is not a great defender or good defender, and Luke is not a very good or great defender. So
I'm gonna make it simple for you. LeBron can't really play defense, even though he tries. Austin Reeves tries. Luka Doncic does not try.
No, I agree with that.
Let's just put it like that. He doesn't try.
Luka does not try. The Denver Nuggets, you've lost your damn mind. Firing this man. Five games left in the regular season. And when you guys lose in the playoffs, this will be one of the reasons why. Bad roster construction and making a stupid ass move, firing a championship coach 5 games left into the regular season. Denver Nuggets lost their damn mind. Ladies and gentlemen, you watching Highly Opinionated? Take a quick break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and very berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Highly Opinionated. As you can see, we got a special guest, fan of the show, my guy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Irv to Highly Opinionated. What's up, Irv?
Hey, man, what's going on? Just like you stated, man, a real big fan of the show. Highly Opinionated. Really look up to you guys, and I'm here to support.
I appreciate that, brother. Glad to have you on. Long overdue, bro. We've been writing back and forth, trying to make it happen. Glad to have you here on the first show, and I'm glad to have you here on this first time. And ladies and gentlemen, it won't be his last time.
Yep, sound good.
So, Irv, let the audience know about you, man. What you got going on?
Yes, man. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Woodard Auto Repair. We do mobile auto repair where we come to you. Right now, we are servicing the Maryland area. So if you want to reach out to us, you can find us on Instagram under Woodard Auto Repair. And if you're in Maryland, we'd love to come and service your vehicle and beat that dealership price.
That's great, man. That's great. Great to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, Woodard Audio Repair, 443-962-8149.
Yep.
It's great to hear, man. How many years of car experience you got?
Well, we got 6 years combined with me and my brother. We also ASE and BMW certified.
Okay.
So we definitely look forward to meeting anybody that's listening to this podcast and just all our future clientele.
Absolutely, man. Well, we here to help. We want to support you and your brand. So like you said, you'll see, ladies and gentlemen, you see it on the screen. You'll see where you can follow it on Instagram, Woodard Audio Repair. Phone numbers on the screen as well. So congratulations on you and your brother having a businessman working together, coming together, making things happen, man. That's what's up. We need more. We need more situations like that.
Yeah, and I do agree, man. And just like this podcast, man, this is a great one, man. I love to see it going and going and going.
Absolutely, bro. We appreciate you for all your love, bro. We appreciate you. So, know you're a big NBA fan, man. What's your thoughts going on in the NBA right now?
Okay, so I know I came out the gate stuttering a little bit, but I'm not going to stutter when I say this. Now, when I'm watching the NBA, this is what I see here. I got a couple teams I got picked out for you guys, and y'all can let me know how y'all feel about it. Of course, anybody can comment. But the number one team I like right now is the Bucks. Right now, I got them coming out of the playoffs, and then also my number 2 team right now is the Lakers. for a long list of reasons there. And also have a underdog dark horse team for you guys, and that's being the Kings.
Okay.
There's a couple players that I like off the Kings with the addition of Zach LaVine. This year, I see them doing great things. My boy Malik Monk, I like the way he play, and I like his 3-point shot. So I think they got a lot of potential there.
Go ahead, John. Start us out. Bucks,
Man.
Lakers, and Kings.
Man, yeah, I can say for sure you came out the gate swinging. I'll give you that.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Milwaukee is interesting because obviously with Giannis, you have a great player. You have the ability to just do some things in the playoffs. They can make some noise. Damian Lillard obviously is dealing with a blood clot situation. We wish him nothing but the best, obviously, from a health perspective. Milwaukee does have pieces that I can see them winning a playoff series, but I don't see them coming out of the East. I don't believe that anyone in the East is going to beat Boston. Cleveland might have the best chance, according to a lot of people's, perspectives. I don't believe in Cleveland. Yeah, I think I've seen this movie before with them before. I've seen this movie before with Donovan Mitchell. I don't believe that anybody's beating Boston in the East. Milwaukee is an interesting pick because when they're healthy, they could challenge the likes of a Cleveland. They could challenge the likes of those top seeds in the East. And like I said, they could win a series maybe too, but I definitely don't have them beating Boston.
Okay.
The Sacramento Kings pick as a dark horse is very interesting because the West, as we know, is, in my opinion, a lot tougher. We have like 5-6 teams that are basically have the same record. Kings are likely going to be in the play-in. I love DeMontis Sabonis. I understand Malik Monk. DeRozan and LaVine just came off a game where LaVine and DeRozan both had 40 points. They come out for 80 points, so they can definitely score it. What they've been doing since they fired Mike Brown has been, it's been impressive. I just don't think the Kings really have enough consistency, in my opinion, to really make noise in the playoffs. Could they win the play-in game? It's possible, definitely. When you're talking about teams 6 through 10, anything's possible in the NBA playoffs. So I can see that. I can see that happening. But as a dark horse, I would lean towards more of the Clippers or maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves is more of a dark horse than the Sacramento Kings, in my opinion. And who was that last team? The Lakers?
Yeah, Lakers. Yeah.
Me and Josh kind of talked about it a little bit. For me, I got to be honest. Before when the Luka Doncic trade went down, I was not sold because I was worried about the defensive side of the ball. Lakers were bad defensively, even with Anthony Davis, who individually has been a good defender over the years, but team defense wasn't that great. You bring in a guy that is ball dominant and doesn't really play defense. I wondered how that was going to work. Well, the Lakers have transformed a team where it's like they've been firing on all cylinders as of late. We just saw that beatdown they put on Oklahoma City, albeit they shot historically great from the field, especially from 3-point range. But I was telling Josh, you look down the list of teams in the West, is there any team that you can definitively say that is definitely going to beat the Lakers? Are we sure that the Lakers don't match up well and could beat everyone, including Oklahoma City? So that's not a bad pick. I got to give credit where credit is due. I will give credit to LeBron James. I'm gonna say it again. I'm giving LeBron James credit. He has really played well with Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves has blossomed into a very serviceable player for the Lakers to the point where some people are looking at them as having a big three. Not quite there yet, but Austin Reeves has played spectacular. He's been a lot better than I imagined. The Lakers aren't a bad pick. Josh?
So, Herb, I agree with your Lakers pick. I could definitely see that happen. Sacramento, the only problem I have with them, they have two problems with them. They fired the coach, like John mentioned, and if they make the playoffs, they'll be the AC. So they'll probably have to play OKC, and I don't like that matchup for them. I think OKC can run up and down with them. The Lakers, again, I said I agree on. Now the Bucks. I'm glad you mentioned the Bucks because I've never had a chance to do this. It looks like you're a Bucks fan or you like the Bucks, and that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say the Bucks are fully healthy. If Damian Lillard is what y'all tell me he is, then yeah, they should. But I know he's not.
Okay.
So I broke the internet a couple weeks ago because I said Anthony Edwards wasn't a superstar. So here's one of those moments again. Damian Lillard was never a superstar. He was a very good player. He had superstar moments, but he was never a superstar. And he's shown y'all in big moments that he wasn't. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back. Let's go back to when Damian Lillard was on the Portland Trail Blazers. And they were in the Western Conference Finals against an injured Golden State Warriors team. Kevin Durant was not there. It was Klay Thompson and Steph Curry versus Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. I want y'all to go look and see how many wins the Blazers got. You ain't even got to. They won nothing. So, listen, We try to put these guys in certain classes, stars, superstar. Bro, you can be a star, you can be a very good player. Just because you do superstar stuff doesn't mean you're a superstar. Jalen Brunson does superstar stuff. He's not a superstar. Not. So my point is that Damian Lillard is a very good player, a star. He never was a superstar. He can't be your best player and you win the championship. And judging him in Milwaukee, he can't be your second best player and you win the championship. Because what have they done since they had Damian Lillard? Lose.
Yeah. Sound good, man. Yeah, I definitely agree. But I'm still a fan of Dame time, and I know when it comes down to fourth quarter, I know who should have the ball, and I believe he's one of those guys that should definitely have it.
Absolutely, I'm not disparaging that. I'm not disparaging. He's not not a great player. I'm not disparaging that. I think he has great abilities, but to be a superstar, you have to attack the games in more than one or two aspects. If you take Damian Lillard scoring away, what else is he going to impact the game with? Nothing.
We can say that about a bunch of players in the NBA. I think you're being a little disrespectful towards Damian Lillard. These Portland Trailblazers teams were not that good to begin with. What would they be without Damian Lillard? They're not getting no West Finals without Damian Lillard.
Yeah, but they got.
I'm seeing what CJ McCollum is right now in New Orleans. Maybe CJ McCollum wasn't as good as people thought he was, but that team is nothing without Damian Lillard. And a lot of people. And look, we also gotta understand. Yeah, Kevin Durant was there, but they still had Steph Curry.
Yeah,
that's a superstar. We question that.
No.
Klay Thompson probably the second or third best shooter we've ever seen. He's there. Draymond Green, all-world defender.
Okay.
You know what he brings to the table. So even though there was no Kevin Durant, that was still a really good team that the Blazers went up against. Let's not forget that. So I'm not blaming Damian Lillard for that loss. If anything, the team around him wasn't that good. But Damian Lillard has dragged bad teams to the West Finals. Yeah, he's never been a defender. He never will be. But he wasn't a defender coming out of college out of Weber State. But to say that Damian Lillard wasn't a superstar, the jury's out right now. I'll give you that with Milwaukee because they haven't, gone to new heights since they traded Drew Holiday, who was obviously known for his defense, but then also scoring offense. Damian Lillard's hurt right now, but they lost a lot of pieces along with Drew Holiday because of that Damian Lillard trade. And I was on record saying that, hey, I'm not in love with this trade because of that defensive aspect, which made Milwaukee champions back in 2021. So I understood that part. But I think we're being a tad disrespectful with Damian Lillard when we're talking about he was never a superstar.
No,
I can't get what you want now.
I take it a step further. Most people had him as the second best point guard in the NBA. I always thought Kyrie Irving was better.
Okay.
Always thought Kyrie. I've been saying this for years. I've always thought Kyrie Irving was better. So for me, Steph was the best point guard. Obviously guys won MVP, so obviously you have to add Russ in there, Derrick Rose and stuff like that. Fine. But the guys that's been consistent, I never thought Dame was better than Kyrie Irving, and I never thought Dame was better than Steph Curry. This is my one retort to you and Irving. I'll get you back in here.
Sure.
John, you said that you're not blaming Damian Lillard for the series. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not blaming Damian Lillard for the series, but I'm gonna use the words of the great co-host that I shared the floor with. When LeBron James and them lost to the Warriors, you know what he said, ladies and gentlemen? Damn, bro, you this good, you can't win a game? Or Damian Lillard, you that good, they don't have Kevin Durant, you can't win a game? You can't win one game. One game, you can't win. They got swept. And then you want to mention CJ McCollum. Bro, CJ McCollum is playing on the most injury-ridden team in NBA history this year. They lose. A dude walk down the street, he get hurt. So I'm just saying, I can't put that all on CJ McCollum. That's not all on him. My point is that if Damian Lillard is what y'all say he is, he should win a game. I remember when Kyrie Irving was in Boston. They played Milwaukee. They won one game in the series. They lost, but they won one game. Not saying he showed his value, but he was good enough to get you a win. Dame, you're a hell of a player. It's okay, bro, if you never was a superstar. I'm not coming at you. I think you're a hell of a player. But being a superstar and being a hell of a player, that's two different things. Damian Lillard is not a superstar and can't lead your team to a championship. And again, what this Milwaukee experience showed me, he can't be your second best player and lead you to a championship. I'm sorry, Dame. I get the facts how I see it. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, but I don't think I'll be wrong on this one. Irv.
Okay. Yeah,
who's your NBA MVP? Nikola Jokic or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander?
Well, I'm gonna lean towards the Nuggets for me, and then go with the Joker again.
Gotcha.
I know how that might sound. I love the way Shea been playing. I think that last game when I watched him play the Lakers and he was unable to get to the free throw line. I kind of was like I'm questioning his abilities there. But with the Joker, he's real like something different than I've ever seen, and I would have to lean towards him again.
What about you, JG? Who's the MVP?
Yeah, look, all respect to that pick. It's not a bad pick at all. If Jokic does win it again, I wouldn't be upset at all. I mean, the guy's been playing out of his mind again, better than like his previous two MVP seasons somehow. But so I wouldn't blame the NBA if he won another MVP. But for me this year, it's got to be Shea. Oklahoma City is not the number one seed. They're not what we think they are going into the playoffs if Shea's not who he is. He's been wildly consistent. He has been on point with his efficiency all season long. And it's like I give credit because look, you're a young Thunder team who's been the number one seed all year long in the Western Conference. Western Conference is way tougher than the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. It's been that way for a while. And this young Thunder team has continued to answer the call. I know they got blitzed just now by the Lakers. You know, it's going to happen. It's an 82-game season. You might have an off night here and there, but you've got evidence, months and months of evidence of seeing this guy just consistent after consistency. And the Thunder they've remained the best team in the West, and they're going to finish the best team in the West. They're going to finish the number one seed overwhelmingly. They've had it locked up for the better part of 2 months now. So the way that Shea's been playing and the way that the Thunder have looked in the Western Conference, and judging and also piggybacking off of how he played last year, I thought Shea should have won it last year. But again, Joker was phenomenal. He deserved it. But I think this year it's definitely got to be Shea.
Sounds good.
Irv, let me ask you a question. JG, let me ask you a question. Do you guys have a problem with co-MVPs?
Man, I think I would like to say that I don't, but I believe in the world of sports. I believe that somebody should be the victor and somebody should be the loser. So I think I'm gonna go with probably not in the world of sports.
Okay. What about you, G?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to have a co-MVP because it just kind of takes away from the drama. In this particular year, if it happens, I would kind of get it, but traditionally, I can't really give it a co-MVP. I know it's happened in the NFL a few times, but for me, it's like when you're most valuable player, it's like this is the guy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's never been like these two guys are the best neck and neck. Like to me, that takes away from the award, in my opinion. So I'm definitely not a person that's going to be a fan of co-MVPs, in my opinion.
Okay, well, for the most part, I'm not into ties. I don't even like wearing ties, so I'm not into a tie. But I will say, I think this year they should give co-MVPs out. It's hard for, okay, Irv, I listened to what you said. You 100% right. Like Nikola Jokic averages 30, 13, and 10. He's third in points, third in rebounds, and second in assists. I mean, is that not the MVP of the league? You feel me? Like, what are we really saying? Go ahead, Irv.
Oh yeah, I was just saying. I agree with the stats that you are quoting. Seem to be accurate, and I agree with you. So
Jokic, you can make a case for him. JG, you mentioned Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not into ties. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander averages 33 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 52% from the field. First in scoring, 83rd in rebounds, 13th in assists, and 23rd in field goal percentage. He's 23rd in field goal percentage. That's like what big men rank at, where you just dunking the ball, you catching oops and all that stuff. Why? Nobody has ever said this, so I understand your opinions on it. I think this year, out of any year, you should have co-MVPs. Even when LeBron and Kobe were in the league, LeBron and Durant, Curry and Durant, Jordan and whoever, it was never a race this I never seen a second. Whoever you think is the MVP, you could legitimately make a case for the second person to win the MVP. I don't remember an MVP award being this close with you can watch and see. When Steve Nash beat Kobe, that should have never happened. When Steve Nash beat Shaq, that should have never happened. We get that, fine. But the Suns had the best record, so I could somewhat understand that. So your point about JG, your point about Nikola Jokic, your point about the Thunder having the best record is 100% right. But Irv, I'm gonna hit you, and John, you said this. The Thunder would be nowhere without Shai.
Sure.
Irv, I got a question. Where the hell would the Denver Nuggets be? They just fired their coach. Where the hell would they be without Jokic?
Right. Yeah. Have Russell run up and down the court, uncontrollable.
Just run.
Jamal Murray still hurt right now, so
yeah,
man.
Bro, the man had a 60-point triple-double.
Right.
Like, bro, the last person I seen do that was James Harden. I understand that. He has the ball in his hands all the time.
Right.
This guy giving it to you, rebounds, assists, passing. Like, I'm sorry. There is no debate about who the best player in the NBA is. You can like Giannis, you can like Embiid, you can like Luka, you can like whoever. You put Jokic on any team, they're a contender. You put him on the Spurs, they let him run the point guard, let Wemby run the 4 or the 5.
That'd be crazy, yeah.
So I actually think we should do. I actually think it should be co. I know I'm taking the chicken way out. Y'all got that. It should be co-MVPs this shit, man. Like if you really look at it, how can you decipher one from the other?
No, man, it's a tough call. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't hate it if it actually happened, but just like traditionally, like over the time, like I'm not a huge fan of that. But for this year, with these two guys, if co-MVP were to happen, I'd understand it. I wouldn't be in love with it, but I would understand it.
Would you understand it, Irv?
Yeah. I mean, I would understand it. I mean, the numbers, even when you saying them, they sound so close.
Exactly.
But as you know, like I'm saying, I'm just saying in the world of sports, you know, that's my that's what I'm sticking to. I was thinking the world of sports, so there's a winner and there's a loser, and I think you got to make a decision if you on the board.
Got you. No, you're right. You're right. You definitely are right. But again, I just feel like in this particular situation, it's hard to make that choice. It's like choosing between Beyonce and choosing between Rihanna. Whoever you like, you're like, damn, okay, B, okay, Ree, can I have both of y'all? Like, damn, like, you feel me? Like, yeah, let's make it work. So I think in this particular situation, we need, we should definitely have co-MVPs. Before we get you up out of here, Irv,
right.
I want to hear your finals prediction. I know you gave us teams to watch, but what team do you think will win the West? And what team do you think will win the East? And who do you think will win the NBA championship?
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with the Lakers coming out of the West, Boston coming out of the East, and I think the Lakers take it.
Okay. You think they match up great with Boston? Like, why would you? You might like the Lakers, so that might be obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
why do you think they'll beat Boston?
Because I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a little bit of Luka magic. I know the biggest knock against him right now is saying that he's out of shape. Just hoping that he hears that, try to pull himself together and prove to the world that he can play, the whole NBA season and also win a chip. I think he got the best person for conditioning with him every day, and that's LeBron James. He got to learn something from being around him. I'm just hoping that rub off. And maybe if not this season, maybe next season.
No, I got you. I'll also say this. You speak of conditioning.
Right.
I'm not the biggest fan of this guy as a coach, but he can learn from JJ Redick. JJ Redick used to run around the court all the time, so he can learn how to be in condition from JJ Redick. Obviously, LeBron is the absolute. When I say GOAT, I don't mean he's the best basketball player, but he's the GOAT I've ever. Him and Jordan are the GOATs I've seen that stand in condition.
Right.
They are the GOATs I've seen. You can put Kobe in there too, but I think those two, just because of how LeBron is built, Jordan played 82 damn near every season. So you can tell his conditioning was top notch. So I would say those two are the best conditioning players in the NBA I've ever seen. But yeah, you're right. LeBron can definitely get Luka and train him right, get his body right, get his mind right, and let him understand, hey, man, it's going to be what it's going to be.
So yeah, we shall see how that's going to turn out.
Lakers Celtics in the NBA Finals, and you have the Los Angeles Lakers winning. How many games?
6.
6 games. 6 games. Okay. JG, I'm not going to ask you for your pick.
Well, yeah, we already know how you're going to lean.
You are out of your mind if you think about the Boston Celtics. You are out of your mind. I'm not the biggest fan of, like, to your Luka point, I don't like how people have been, like, knocking him for, like, not being in shape and all that. And out of shape Luka Doncic is better than more than 80% of the league right now when he's out of shape. He's that good, especially on offense. And like I said before, it's not that he can't play defense or at least try. He just chooses not to try on defense.
Yes.
Well, you're going to have to try against the Boston Celtics or you will get torched, as we saw last year in the finals when he took the Mavericks up against those very Celtics. Drew Holiday, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they all went apart to Luka because they knew that he was not trying to play defense. He'll get his buckets. But if you're going to win a championship, you're going to have to at some point show up on the defensive side of the ball. Because as you saw, the Mavericks had no shot in that series, and they didn't win a game. The Celtics are the best team.
No, they won a game.
Oh, they won a game. I'm sorry, they had that blowout in Game 4. You're right. Yeah. But as we saw, man, it's just like the best teams that win championships. They do it well on both ends of the floor. Boston does that very well on both sides. They got shooting everywhere. They got guys that can come off the bench and give you 40 points like Peyton Pritchard or Sam Hauser who come in and give you 35 points off of like 7 threes. Like or how many threes, like, I can't do math right now. But guys like that can give you, crazy stats out of nowhere. And you got defenders. And you got a big man that can shoot threes and defend in Porzingis and Al Horford. Lakers got offense. But you got to at some point be able to defend those guys because you're not outscoring Boston. That's one team that I know outscoring is a terrible idea. That's how I feel about it. But Lakers come out of the West, that's not a bad pick. I'm not sure if it'll happen depending on who the matchup is, but if it happens, it wouldn't shock me either.
All right.
Go ahead, Irv. I'll let you respond. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, right before I got here, I just want to say, Josh, JG, man, love you guys. Love this whole podcast. Love the setup. Love everything about it. Definitely one of y'all biggest supporters. I'm going to continue to do that.
Thank you, brother.
Yep. Ready, bro. Appreciate it.
Yep, and my only rebuttal is just LeBron James, and then I'm signing off.
I hear that.
That's all I got. That's all I got, man.
Sometimes in the world we use the white card, we use the black card. That's the LeBron card. And you put that down. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. No pun intended. The LeBron card can trump a lot of things. You feel me? So I can't knock that. Mm-hmm. With the Nuggets firing their head coach and doing what they did, you feel me?
Yeah.
That makes the Lakers appeal even more sexier. You feel me? So I get it. Totally understand. Me and John will give out NBA playoff predictions next week.
Okay.
We'll have a little bit better idea how the matchups be. But for me, I think the Celtics will win the East. I can't pick the West because it's all about matchups. Like I said this earlier. People gonna laugh at me. Y'all gonna talk about the Lakers. Y'all gonna talk about the Thunder. Y'all gonna talk about the Warriors because the Warriors and Lakers have been there. So I get that. If the Clippers stay healthy and Kawhi Leonard is there, I like the Clippers against the Warriors. I like the Clippers against the Thunder. I like the Clippers against the Lakers. Because like how y'all speak of great players, Kawhi Leonard's a great player. But I also think they have the best coach in Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue gonna put you in the right positions to do what you need to do. James Harden, you bluffing, sit your ass down. Norman Powell, you hitting, step up. Ben Simmons, stand over there for 5 minutes and just stand over there and do something for 5 minutes and get your ass out the game. Ty Lue is gonna put you in the right position to do what you need to do. And I think the Clippers, again, depending on matchups, have a chance. The Warriors have a chance. The Lakers have a chance, and the Thunder, they're the number 1 seed all year. I think they have a chance. I also think, to y'all point about the Lakers, I think the best thing that could have happened to the Thunder was what happened over the weekend. They got their asses handed to them. So now they know, hey, bro, ain't no half-stepping with these guys. We need to get these mofos up out of here quick, fast, and in the motherfucking hurry. You feel me? So they get it. They understand it. So I like your pick. I like your pick with the Celtics. The West, we'll have to see how the matchups go.
Perfect.
My brother, you're the best, bro. Can't wait to have you back on the show again, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to be back, man. Thank you guys, man.
Thank you, bro. We want to again shout out to Repair.
Sure. Woodard Auto Repair. We service the Maryland area. Mobile repair, so we come to you. And we also going to beat that shop price, and we're going to give you the same dealership service, ASC certified, BMW certified. And you can reach us out on Instagram at Woodard Auto Repair. You can just search it and you can find our page.
Irv, you the best, my brother. Can't wait to have you back on soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you'll watch Highly Opinionated. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of Highly Opinionated is brought to you by Edibly Airy. Enjoy the heightened experience of THC edibles in a whole new way. At Edibly Airy, our freeze-dry edibles available in 100 milligram, 200 milligram, 300 milligram, 400 milligram will give you the buzz you crave with a flavor you won't forget. Available in 3 different flavors: watermelon sunset, tropical fruit, and berry. To place orders, please visit the website at ediblyairy.com. While you're there at ediblyairy.com, use a promotion code. You guys see the promotion code on the screen. $ Highly Airy, $. Again, $ Highly Airy, $ for 20% off your first purchase. Follow us on IG at Edibly Airy for new product releases and monthly hookups. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Edibly Airy, the best freeze-dry edibles out. Go shop. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Highly Opinionated. Ladies and gentlemen, great addition to the show, Dylan. But this week, he's not alone. He has a special guest. Dylan, you've been a superstar this whole time, bro. The floor is yours. Take it away.
What's up, guys? Josh, John, welcome back. Dylan's Bangin Breakdowns. Let's give you a good one. 257 recap, guys. We already knew it. I've called it. I'm not even... I hated it. Nothing was good about it. There was unanimous decisions pretty much the whole time, besides a couple fights in main card. Almost fell asleep during it. First fight in, unanimous decision. Second fight in, unanimous decision. Third fight in, unanimous decision. Fourth fight in, unanimous decision. Fifth fight in, TKO. Doctor stoppage. Didn't even care. It was just too much blood. Who cares? That's all right. Maybe that's pretty good, doctor stoppage, but it wasn't like a hit for a doctor stoppage. It was beat. I guess it was beat on for a minute, but still wasn't even a fan of it. Didn't even care about it. It was not entertaining. It was one-sided on that one. Trash. Prelims trash. If there's no TKOs on the prelims, I don't even think the main event or the main card is going to be good. And it really even wasn't on that one either. Split decision. First fight in the main card. Actually, O'Day Osborne did get dropped. He got put down hard. I wanted him to win, and he got put down pretty hard in the second round. First round was pretty good. Dog fight, both of them. O'Day is fast. Gruelli is pretty good. I definitely wasn't expecting him to do what he did. He was nasty with the uppercuts. I think he caught O'Day with the right, which tuned me back into it. This is the fight actually that I didn't even care about it. Nothing was happening up till this fight pretty much. And O'Day, he got knocked out hard, put down. So that was a crazy fight. Kind of drew me back into it. Brad Tavares, the next fight. Still, Mearshart, he lost. I called Mearshart to win, but still, it wasn't entertaining though. It went the whole distance. It was probably 29-27 the whole way. Tavares did look good. Big, heavy hands. Big fan of Gerald also, but still wasn't entertaining. Nothing about it. Josh Emmett lost. That did go the distance. That wasn't. Actually, Josh Emmett did crack Murphy pretty good a couple times, but Lerone Murphy looked good. Combinations were good. He looked better than him. But like I said, the fight night wasn't there for me. The prelims didn't draw me in. The main event didn't draw me in. The main card didn't draw me in. Featherweight for either of them guys. They're both still low in the rankings. That's a division stacked as it is anyway. So we'll see where it goes with that one. Pass on that fight night. We'll see what happens with the next one. But let's talk about UFC 314. I got a good friend of mine here. He's going to break it down with me. We're going to give some picks about it, see what's going on with it. Jeff, welcome in.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for having me on, Dill. Excited to be here and talk about a fun fight card with UFC 314.
And what a fun fight card, Jeff. Not like we've already talked about this months ago because we knew how good it was and how much looking forward to it we are. But for the prelims all the way up, dude, I got chills just now because we haven't had a good one in a while, pretty much month or two. Actually, the last one with Pereira was pretty good, but still, this one is way more exciting than that one. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the first time UFC's going back to Miami since last year. I think it was the O'Malley card. So hopefully not to be a better card this time around here. So I think it will be, though, at least on paper.
Prelims, even that, are pretty good too. Cedrikius Dumas, I think I'm a fan of him, and he's fighting out of Miami or South Florida, somewhere down there. So I'm a big fan of him, and that's a good one. I can't pronounce the other guy's name. McCall. I don't even like saying him sometimes because I don't even want to get into it. But even the last fight on the prelims is actually a good one that I'm gonna be looking forward to. Cedrikius, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
Not too much, to be completely honest.
South Florida, just know him because he's all tatted up guy. I've liked watching him. He's coming off a win right now too. You've seen him.
Yeah, I've definitely seen him. Don't really know my name. He has dreads, right?
Yeah, he's lanky too, really lanky.
All right,
what about these prelims then? Forget Cedrikius. Prelims, Darren Elkins, Julian Erosa. First one is a pretty good one right there to start the prelims off.
The damage, yeah. Darren Elkins coming back for another fight. He's got a lot of miles on him. That should be fun, though. He always delivers an entertaining fight.
his face still looks like he's been fighting forever too. It looks like he's ready to get hit, almost like a Nate Diaz fight, just ready to bust open almost.
Yeah, some potential CTE on the roadmap for him potentially.
That guy's been hit, absolutely. Next fight up though, what do you? I think this might be a stepping stone for Chase Hooper to fight Jim Miller.
Yeah, absolutely. Classic case of the seasoned vet against the upcoming new guy. Although I feel like I keep saying Chase Hooper's a new guy, but at this point, I mean, he's been in the UFC for a couple years now. What's he, about 25, I want to say? But I know he's 4-0 since moving up to the lightweight division back in 2023. So he seems to maybe have found a home there.
But Jim Miller's coming off a win.
Yeah, he has 59th walk to the octagon coming up this Saturday.
So what are you gonna? I'm not gonna say that Chase Hooper's just gonna not gonna take Jim Miller down. Jim Miller is good on the ground. Jim Miller will take the hits. Jim Miller throws hands. I'm not throwing him out.
No, absolutely not. I don't think you can ever count him out, especially given his experience and his resume. I mean, I feel like we've seen this time and time again watching UFC over the years, giving the new guy to the seasoned vet. So I would actually, I'm going to go with Jim Miller here if I had to give a pick here.
But then what also brings me to a second thing that I'm going to talk about in a couple more minutes. Brian Ortega, who was a stepping stone, who some guys on the main card just beat up in the past year and made their way up through him. Yes. But you're going to go Jim Miller on this prelim sick-ass fight?
Yeah, I want to go with Jim Miller. I love Jim Miller.
Okay, I'll take Jim Miller also. These two women fighting, they're both pretty badass, both these women also. I wish I could say either of their names, Jan and Viren.
Jan Xiaonan and Verna Jandaroba, I believe.
If you say it wrong, I hope they come beat you up for saying it wrong.
They both. I mean, the comments, I'm sure.
They both throw down though, dude. After she just fought for the belt and tried to take it, and dude, both of them probably coming off a win.
Jan Xiaonan has great hands. She's got great striking. I know Jandaroba really likes to grapple, use the takedowns, which is actually kind of Jan Xiaonan's crutch or her weakness. I know Wei Li, I think she took her down about 6 or 7 times. And I know in the past, Jan's also been taken down a couple times. So I think I'm probably going to lean Jandaroba, just kind of relying on her grappling skills there, because it seems to be a weakness in Jan Xiaonan's game.
Okay, both of them are great though. Both of them are this fight probably is going to be a belt fight after this. Whether it's it's definitely going to be a belt fight, I'd say.
Potentially. I mean, Jandaroba definitely, I feel like could definitely catapult herself to that. Jan, I feel like, I know she's fought for the belt somewhat recently, and it was pretty one-sided. So
I do agree.
I think she might need another one if she wins this one in between there.
Okay, but if Vierna wins, you think she's going to have a title fight?
I mean, she's a strong case.
And also, the women's strawweight aren't really fighting that much. Even on nobody's that active, really.
I think at this point we're talking about Wei Li doing, moving up and fighting, doing like a super fight at this point. So I feel like it's pretty weak given the people on the cards and in the division. So I don't know. I guess if Jan Xiaonan were to have like some sort of exciting finish, then maybe she could catapult herself back into that. But I feel like Jandaroba is a better case if she wins.
A couple of years ago, the women's UFC fighting was way much better than what it is right now. I think it's fallen off a little bit with just the women's fighters. There was so much more excitement a couple of years ago.
It's so top heavy.
Yeah, it is. It is very top heavy. The main ones have really stuck it out. Yeah.
There's quite a gap, I feel like.
Yeah. Next one though. Both these guys are crazy too. Dan Ige, Sean Woodson.
Yeah. Love this fight.
A fan of both of them right here. Dan Ige, he's coming off a loss. Lerone Murphy.
Yeah, Lerone Murphy just won last week.
And he looked good too. Like I said, that I did watch that fight. Like I almost fell asleep for the prelims because there really was nothing on for that card. Nothing. But their fight definitely went to full. He looked pretty good. Sean Woodson coming off a win. Yeah,
definitely. Dan Ige, number 15 ranked featherweight. Sean Woodson's 13-1, currently unranked, just kind of sitting on the outside of the featherweight rankings. I feel like everyone loves Dan Ige. I feel like I can speak for the masses there, but I think at this point, I think he's personally really entered like gatekeeper type status, being at number 15 there. He does have a pretty good resume. He's fought really a bunch of dogs, but you kind of know, I feel like, what his ceiling is at this point and what he's going to give you. He's 2-4 in his last 6 fights. Sean Woodson been on a nice streak. He's 13-1. He hasn't lost a fight since his second fight in the UFC back in 2020. Only loss of his professional MMA career, but really looking at his resume, not super impressed with many of the wins that he's had, at least as of yet. So I do love this fight on paper for a matchup for him, just because I kind of mentioned Ige being in that gatekeeper status at number 15 there. So this could really provide Sean Woodson an opportunity to jump into that top 15 ranking.
Dude, Sean Woodson, I'm just thinking about his last fight. He loves to sit back and pick off the edge, too, when fighting. He's a lanky arm. Dude, his kicks are good, too. He's definitely a great fighter, just thinking about his last fights. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's so lanky. It's ridiculous. And also, Ige being on the smaller side of 145, I think he potentially maybe has a future at 135 even. He's pretty tiny, 71 inches of reach. But Woodson's really just, I think his plan would be just to stay on the outside, just kind of use his length and reach to keep Ige at distance. I know Ige, obviously, we just mentioned that before, too. He struggled a bit with Lerone Murphy's reach in their previous fight, and Woodson has even more reach, I think about 4 more inches or so. So, I don't think Sean Woodson's been tested, though. He hasn't really shown me much toughness, whereas Ige, he'll get dirty, gritty. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Been in there with real serious competition.
Yeah. Big fan of both. I think Woodson's going to take Ige in this one, though. I think Woodson's going to.
All right. I'm going to keep it interesting. I'm going to go opposite here. I'm going to go Dan Ige.
Okay, and that's just for the prelims. We're already talking about how picking fights on the prelims. That's how good this card is. Honestly, talking about now that we're moving on to the main card, the first fight does not bring me into this main card, just saying.
Yeah, definitely not really a barn burner on paper, at least. We'll see what they deliver, but
maybe because Dominic Reyes is going to retire after this fight. Maybe that's why they're starting the main card out with it, but I don't know. Nikita, I don't know about him either, but I know Dominic Reyes isn't ready. He beat up Ryan Spann, actually. That's pretty crazy, actually, in his last fight. Nikita did. I don't even think I remember that.
I mean, Ryan Spann knocked out Dominic Reyes with a jab. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nothing really to ride home about, I feel like, with some of the competition there at the light heavyweight division.
No, true that.
Ranked number 8, Reyes ranked number 11 currently. Don't think we haven't seen Krylov in the octagon since March of 2023. So
that's when he beat Ryan Spann?
Yeah, a little bit over 2 years of a layoff.
Jeez, it is. Wow. I mean, of course, on this one, I'm going to not pick Reyes just because he's been beat up probably so many times by so many people John Jones, everybody's beat him up. He's been brutally beat up, actually.
Crazy. Just the downstream, just the last couple of years for him after that Jones fight.
Yeah, he had a big hype, too, going up to it. Yeah, Crazy. It was really, he got brutally beat up and then went downhill. So I'm going to go Nikita on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to follow you on that one. Reyes 0-4 since that John Jones fight. Then he did have 2 wins in 2024, but not really impressed with those. Dustin Jacoby, he's decent. We're talking about the light heavyweight division here, so decent's really not the best compliment, I feel like.
No. It's pretty stuck in one spot, too. That division's pretty stuck.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then Anthony Smith was the other one, which I hope we all agree on. He's absolutely cooked and has been for the last few years. I'm not sure how he was still getting fights, to be completely honest.
More than a few. A few is 2. He's been 5. 5 years, I'd say he's been cooked.
Remember we saw him in Charlotte. He did the classic Anthony Smith turtle up, just get hit and just turtle up.
They didn't smoked.
They didn't call the fight, though. I don't think Johnny Walker got that finish, but yeah, anyway, not to get too off topic there. I'm going to go with Krylov here. Going to leverage his grappling, and I just think he's much tougher than Reyes.
And the last name.
Yeah.
Probably coming out of Dagestan. He's probably not losing anyway.
He's Ukrainian, so not entirely, but yeah, it's just somewhere around that region.
Close, but he's still not losing.
Yeah.
Next one, pretty good fight. I'm a big fan of Yair Rodriguez, crazy, and Pitbull making his UFC debut.
Yeah, super exciting. Awesome fight. Welcome to the UFC, Pitbull. Although classic UFC fashion, they're getting a great fighter from another organization. Probably past his prime, maybe just a couple years too late. He's about to turn 38. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
His resume, though, does say he should be in the UFC and should have been in the UFC.
Oh yeah, 100%. He should have been in the UFC. That's kind of what I was trying to say there. And
You're right.
it's like,
I didn't even process it. You're right. He should
I
have been
mean,
in the UFC.
about to be 38 here. So I mean, realistically, is he really going to make a run here? I mean, he does have potential though. Yair's ranked 5. So I mean, if he were to get an exciting finish here, we really could be talking about, especially with him being on the card with a vacated featherweight title. Mozara Evloviv, I think he's waiting on the outside, but being that he's not putting on some of the most exciting fights, there's a possibility if Pitbull has an exciting finish, he really could jump the line there with a finish here and jump right into a title shot. But
I don't even think numbers matter though, because that dude just came over and fought for the belt a few weeks ago. Remember that? That was just he is a little younger than Pitbull, I'm pretty sure, 10, 15 years.
Yeah, and in a different division too that's not as stacked as featherweight.
The featherweight is stacked. I do like the featherweight division. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Yair on this one though. You can go ahead after what you're saying, but I think I'm gonna take Yair up this one just because after I've seen his crazy finishes. We haven't really seen what Pitbull has brought. I mean, I've YouTubed him. I've seen some of his highlights and people talk about him, but I think that I'm gonna go with Yair personally. But what were you saying about him?
Yeah, I was just saying that, I mean, even if he doesn't win this one, still, I mean, being that he's about to be 38, still a few fun, exciting fights on paper that they can match him up with. So looking forward to seeing a couple more of his, or I guess finishing up his MMA career with the UFC.
That's
I'm going to go.
You too.
Yeah, I would imagine. So Yair looked phenomenal against Josh Emmett back in 2023. He looked really good at the start of the Ortega fight. Maybe that was due to that injured foot Ortega had for a little bit. And then he ended up just absolutely breaking Yair in rounds 2 and 3. But I do think I'm going to go Yair here. I think just with the, being with the age and doesn't have as many miles on him as Pitbull, I'm going to go Yair.
And I'd even say spotlight too. Yair has a little more, not less pressured under the spotlight. He's been in the spotlight before. He's fought under the lights. He's accustomed to the UFC. He knows what the walkout's like. I think Yair.
Yeah, absolutely. He's grown up in the UFC.
Yeah, I'll give him that one. Next fight, this one's going to be crazy too because Gene Silva's mad at Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Oh, absolutely. But I think just of course. All the call-outs, though, I think Gene Silva is going to whoop his ass.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. Bryce the Nazi Mitchell. Gene Silva, Contender Series alumni. This guy's absolute fireworks. 4-0 since joining the UFC, just a little bit over the course of the calendar year. So the activity is absolutely crazy, but also it shows you how he's just obliterating and walking through opponents, not taking any damage and getting those quick turnarounds.
Active too. Active, yeah.
For sure. He's even got a fight or two at lightweight as well. He can absolutely crack all 4 UFC wins by finish, one being a doctor stoppage though. But yeah, Dana is 100% feeding Bryce Mitchell to this dude after all those comments that he made in that interview. Bryce really struggled with strikers, specifically strikers that have power. Topuria and Emmett worked him, and at this rate, I think his hands were very limited. Not really putting any stock into Bryce finishing Kron Gracie via strikes. Don't think Kron Gracie should be in the UFC. So yeah, I'm gonna go Gene Silva as well.
I'm going Gene Silva also just because the hungriness of him, like we said, he's ready. He wants it too. He's coming after it. 4-0 and coming up. Yeah, Gene Silva, he's a monster. He's nasty. Take him on that one. We're agreeing on that one. Next one we got Michael Chandler. I'm gonna go with the stepping stone for Paddy Pimblett, even though I don't think Paddy Pimblett's on like the speed level of Michael Chandler, and maybe Michael Chandler's a little unit.
Yeah, he is. He's a tank.
I don't think Paddy Pimblett's a little unit. Maybe he's a long unit or lanky, maybe, but I don't think his athleticism is on the level of Michael Chandler's.
Oh, 100%. No way.
But it may be a stepping stone because I do think Michael Chandler's probably only got 1 or 2 more left in him, and Paddy Pimblett wants it. I do think he's hungry for it. He looks good. His last fight, he looked great.
Yeah, 100%. It's a really fun fight, at least on paper. Super excited to see how this plays out. I do agree. Don't know how many more fights Chandler has left in him. Got a lot of miles on him. Got about 30. I think this is 34th fight, if I'm not mistaken. But Paddy's 6-0 in the UFC. One controversial win, you could say, since joining the UFC since 2021. He's really been ramped up pretty slowly in terms of the strength of opponents he's had. So this matchup's quite intriguing as a litmus test for Patty. And I think that's just where Michael Chandler is at this stage of his career as well. He is extremely frustrating yet entertaining to watch. He essentially finds ways to lose, I think, after watching him. Not sure how he's even ranked number 7 at this point. He's fought once since 2022, and Charles beat him. Overall, 2-4 in the UFC. Just an absolute terrible fight IQ. Loads up on all of his shots, gasses out. I think really his best days are behind him at this point. So curious to see, though, how Patty responds to some of those bombs that Chandler throws, because Patty does eat a lot of shots in his fight, and Chandler's, going to be throwing everything that he has in his arsenal there. But I do think Patty has really good length, great jiu-jitsu. He's really good off his back. He almost broke Bobby Green's arm. I'm going to go Patty, and I'm going to go by submission.
Okay, but I was thinking about it. Michael Chandler, we're talking about is just throwing the power into the hits and being a unit. Remember that front kick he hit Tony Ferguson with and put him to sleep?
How can I forget?
So I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to. He was, we didn't even know if he was breathing. He was face down. That's why I don't even know if I want to count Michael. I was thinking, I want Patty to win, of course, because I like Patty. His rise, he's looked good. His last fight, he looked great. He put Bobby Green was, all that. I do think I'll go Patty, though. I'm going to count Michael Chandler as a stepping stone. I'm going to go Patty.
Yeah, I agree. We got a couple of stepping stone type fights on this card between the prelims and the main card.
Yeah, and like I said, a few of them have beat Diego Lopez. A few of them have beat Brian Ortega, who is one of them stepping stones I'm going with. Like it comes to our main event. We both picked Patty in the co-main event. Main event now, Alexander Volkanovski, Diego Lopez. Great, amazing fight this is going to be.
Yeah, this is huge. Love this fight on paper.
Although Diego hasn't fought in a year, correct? And his last fight was Brian Ortega.
Yeah. His last fight was Ortega.
Was a stepping stone, but he has been tested. I do like Diego Lopez, as his resume is pretty good, though, coming up for him.
Yeah, like I was just saying with Patty, how they slow ramped him. Diego, definitely not. 5-1 in the UFC since coming in on short notice. 2023, they gave him the Eve in his first fight, and he almost submitted him with a knee bar.
That was crazy. Yeah, and Diego Lopez loves the grapple, too.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. With Volk here, he's had such an amazing career, arguably, if not, the best featherweight champ of all time. Great fight IQ, phenomenal jabs and feints, but he will be the slower fighter of the two in this fight. 2 and 3 in his last 5, and 2 of those 3 coming by TKO, which would be his last 2 fights. Never really like to see that with aging champions who have lost the belt. You've seen it time and time again in the UFC. Just they're never the same. You can take that right from his buddy Izzy. I do unfortunately think that Lopez is going to take this one, although I will say this is Lopez's first 5-rounder. So I'm curious to see how that affects him at all, since he does use a lot of explosiveness in his movements. Volk has been in nothing. This sounds crazy to say. He's been in nothing but 5-rounders since 2019.
Brutal ones too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's had some great fights over the course of the last 5-6 years. But I do think Lopez rocks him, and he ends up getting a stoppage and becomes the new featherweight champ.
I'm gonna go. Volkanovski's run been downhill 5-6 years. He's had great bloody brutal fights, but I think his brutal fights have come to an end for him. And I think Diego Lopez, the 10-year younger fighter, quicker, explosive, I think he's going to try and get it done in less than the 5 rounds, because he's going to have to, because he can't go 5 with Volk. So I'm going to go with Diego Lopez hitting him hard and taking him down maybe with a ground and pound. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think this is a hot take or anything, but if it goes past round 3, I definitely will be very concerned or worried if how that's going to turn out for Diego at that point.
I do agree also, as Volk is more experienced, of course, but I think we're going with Diego. Love that.
I mean, who knows? We haven't seen Diego in a 5-rounder, so he might be fine for all we know. But at the same time, I feel like more times than less, they're usually not.
I'm leaning Volk if it goes past 3 rounds, absolutely. But if it stays within 3, Lopez is definitely going to show out. He's definitely ready to fight and take this. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, well, that, I believe, is our 314 little preview. We can't wait to see who gets these picks. I'm looking forward to it. Jeff, thank you. We're going to have you back on this show. Maybe do a little recap after this 314 goes down. I'd love that. Thank you again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm always ready to join whenever you guys need me.
Super sick. Jeff, love you. Thank you. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Love you, man. I'll see you.
Dylan and Jeff, you guys were amazing. Thank you for your contributions on UFC. Can't wait to have you guys next week to go over UFC action. John, I've been dreading this part of the show. This last part of the show, we're going to end it. The college basketball season ended. March Madness, ladies and gentlemen, it ended. We'll start off with the ladies. Congratulations to Gino Auriemma. Congratulations to the Uconn Huskies. Uconn wins their 12th national championship under Gino Auriemma. They destroyed South Carolina 82-59. Sarah Strong, she had 24 points and 15 rebounds. Paige Beckers, 17 points and 6 rebounds. And Izzy Flood, she had 24 points and 5 rebounds. Gino Auriemma has been the standard of college basketball. He shared it with Pat Summitt. He took it from Pat Summitt. It was just him. You see Don Staley trying to make a run. You saw Notre Dame back in the day. You see other teams, Tennessee, etc. North Carolina, Maryland, Duke. You try to see teams that's trying to come up in the women's game. But in women's college basketball, UConn right now, South Carolina. Congratulations to Gino Auriemma. Congratulations to Paige Beckers. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't talk that much about women's basketball, but I'm going to give special love to Paige Beckers. And hopefully this is a good sign for Juju Watkins next year. Paige Becker tore her ACL. She had to sit out for a year. She's a national champion. She fought. She was determined, hardworking, passionate about what she needed to do to get back to be, if not one of the best, the best women's college basketball player today. Shout out to Paige Beckers, man. And shout out to UConn, Gino, and the crew, man. Championship number 12.
Yeah, Paige Beckers cemented her legacy as one of the greatest UConn players of all time. She's been amazing all through her career. You know, obviously went through all that adversity. She's had a couple of injuries that have kept her out for seasons. So a great mentor for Juju Watkins as she goes through her injury. You know, I'm confident that she'll be back better than ever. Juju Watkins is an amazing player. But same with Paige, she's done everything that a great UConn player is supposed to do except win a championship. She finally got that, you know, the other night against South Carolina, a team that UConn actually had beaten by close to 30 earlier this season. So I picked UConn to win this national championship from the beginning. I just believe that strongly in Paige Beckers and a supporting cast. I got to tell you about Sarah Strong. This girl is a freshman. She's going to take over and be an absolute menace for years to come with UConn and women's college basketball. Keep your eyes on her. I just want to say that. Gino Auriemma, this man for years has caught in so much, you know, garbage from other coaches, just flat out of jealousy because he's won so much at UConn. I remember one coach, Muffin McGraw, used to coach for, I believe, Notre Dame or Baylor. I can't remember what
Notre Dame.
Now, but Notre Dame. I'm sorry. Yes, she probably. I'll never forget this. She probably came out and criticized Gino Auriemma, but it was basically about how he got basically the best players every year. Well, that's what happens when you win. The best players in high school want to go to a program that wins. So if you pissed off about it, coach better, recruit better. I was always against Muffin McGraw for that. Gino Auriemma never deserved any kind of criticism for winning. That's what he does. And he cemented himself as the greatest women's college basketball coach in the history of the game with his 12th championship. UConn was dominant for a very long time. Nobody could touch him. But then we saw Baylor with Brittany Griner come out and win a championship. We saw the rise of Don Staley in South Carolina. We saw Notre Dame come out and win a championship or two. So it's not impossible to get better as a team. And now with the NIL the way that it is, the playing field is getting more level than ever. So this was probably one of the more impressive championships that Gino Auriemma has won because of everything that I just said. And the adversity that UConn went through. There were times where Paige Beckers was out. There were times where their other best players like Ozzie Fudd was out. There was times when Sarah Strong was there. Like there was adversity throughout the season that UConn faced, and they came out and won a national championship. So congrats to them. Congrats to Paige Beckers as she begins to get ready for her next career in the WNBA. It's going to be exciting to watch. She's going to be a superstar. So definitely a fan of Paige, and I can't wait to see what's next for her.
Paige Beckers will be the number 1 pick in the upcoming WNBA draft that happens this month, I think. Happens this month, end of this month.
It's a quick turnaround. The draft's coming soon.
Yeah, I think the draft is between April and May. I don't have the calendar in front of me, but Paige Beckers will be the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft. Once again, from all of us here at Highly Opinionated, congratulations to UConn. Congratulations to Gino Auriemma. Gina, don't pay attention to the BS. If Muffin McGraw had a chance to coach Rebecca Lobo, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, and Paige Beckers, she ain't saying no. So I get it. You won. Pat Summitt coached Shaniqua Holsclaw, Candace Parker, and etc. Come on now. Don't act like great players don't help you win. Men, women, whatever you play, great players help you win. Muffin McGraw, that's terrible. Anyway, congratulations, Gino. Congratulations to UConn. Congratulations to the team, Paige Beckers, the freshman, 24-15.
Sarah Strong, remember that name. She's going to be a menace come next season.
Congratulations to UConn women's team, women's basketball, on winning the national championship. So we celebrated the women's national champion. Let's celebrate the men's national champion, the Florida Gators. In a great Final Four, the Florida Gators beat Auburn on Saturday night. Houston beat Duke on Saturday night to make it to the national championship game. Florida beat Houston 65-63 in a great defensive game. LJ Cry for Houston had 19 points. Richard for Florida had 18 points. This game, the national championship game to me, was decided on defense. Defense and poor execution. Houston couldn't execute in the last minute of the game. Florida could execute. And Florida's defense, their malign defense from years ago, even 2 years ago. Last year, their defense was average. They have a top 10 defense. They showed the championship Monday night. They showed it. They showed it on the championship game Monday night, while their defense has improved. Florida in years past don't win a game 65-63. Both teams, in my opinion, stifled each other. Walter Clayton Jr. struggled for the most part of the game. He had his moments, but he struggled for the most part of the game. So congratulations to Todd Golden, the youngest coach to win a national championship since Jim Valvano. Congratulations to the Florida Gators. Chomp is real. Congratulations.
Yeah. This is the first year of, I think, honestly, since I've been doing the brackets that I got both the men's and women's national champions correct. I picked Florida to win it. I picked UConn to win it. So, but I'll be honest here. Houston blew it. They had this game in their grasp for a good portion of the game. They're up by as many as 13. But Florida did to Houston what Houston did to Duke in the Final Four. They made them uncomfortable and they forced them to turn the ball over and forced them to take quick shots. And it ultimately cost them. There were just bad possessions down the stretch for Houston where LJ Cryer, who you mentioned, that's Houston's best player. He's got to touch the ball and get a shot off in those last few possessions to seal that deal. They did not get him the ball and they did not get a shot off. That was a mistake by Houston. And Florida capitalized on it. Will Clayton Jr., the guy, the player for Florida that I've been very high on, struggled a lot in the first half. Had 5 assists, but was turning the ball over, just wasn't really showing up offensively. He didn't really show up offensively until I think midway through the second half. But Will Richard, who you mentioned, Florida's not winning that game last night without him and what he did in the first half. He was single-handedly kept them in the game. He just this incredible shot making with a rough, tough, rugged Houston defense. That's who their identity's been all season long. Will Richard definitely kept them alive in the first half, and ultimately this is why they won. Other than Florida turning up the defense, rebound the ball better. Houston did a lot to, cost themselves, and it's going to be a lot of sleepless nights for Kelvin Sampson, who's a great coach. Definitely shouldn't be getting a lot of criticism here, although there's obviously criticism on go around whenever you lose, especially a national championship. Kelvin Sampson's a great coach. He's going to have some sleepless nights thinking about that. Some of the players that will be coming back are going to think about, well, man, if we were a little bit smarter with our possessions down the stretch, we would be champions right now, not Florida. But congratulations to Florida. I had them going from the beginning. They've been, in my opinion, just playing the best at the right time. So and it yielded face late in the second half.
Yes, you're right. Florida's been the best team since about mid-February. I mean, I'd say that like beginning of February, they started getting on that run. So Florida, I had Florida going to the national championship. I had them playing Duke. I thought Duke would win, but obviously Duke didn't make it. I know most of you guys want to know before I get to Duke. Most guys want congratulations to Florida. They played a great game, defensive game, offensive game, like you said. Richard kept them in the game in the first half, and then they started making plays in the second half with the centers and Clayton Jr. So definitely give love to Florida, and want to give love to Houston. Everybody that watches this show know I'm a Duke fan. I'm getting text messages over the weekend. How did I feel about what happened about Duke folding? I can't naturally tell you guys how I feel about it because I'll just say I was very pissed at Duke. very, very highly upset. As a Duke fan, as a basketball fan, you should win a game if you're up 6 with 30 seconds left. You should win it. You should win a game. You should be able to inbound the ball. We're not playing Little League. We're playing professional, not professional, but semi. It's basically, it's not professional. It's not semi-pro either. We're playing grown-up basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to know how to inbound the ball. So this is what I'll say about Duke. The worst loss I ever suffered as a Duke fan was when Caleb Love shot Mike Krzyzewski out of the tournament. That changed Saturday night. That game against who they lose to? Houston. Duke's loss to Houston is the toughest Duke loss I ever had.
Yeah, I mean, Duke should have won that game. They were up, like you said, by 6 late. They were up by more. You know, as the game winded down, it was to the point where it was like, all right, this game's basically over. I've never seen Duke, blow a lead like that. I was watching this live, and I was like, is this really happening? The turnover like in the backcourt, and then Houston getting the 3 off, and then the guy gets a putback dunk. It's like all of a sudden you have a 1-point game, and then you go to your best player, Cooper Flagg, to like close it out. Crazy stat. He's had 4 opportunities now to close. He didn't do it. Now I'm not crazy. I'm not going to say this should impact his draft status and like that. He's had a phenomenal freshman season. It's one of the best Duke freshmen, one of the best freshmen we've ever seen. He's not better than Carmelo Anthony, but he's one of the best. He's had one of the best freshman seasons we've ever seen. So, not a knock on Cooper Flagg, but it's just kind of a wild stat. And guys, before we get out of here, our co-host Josh is a massive Duke fan, and I was just sitting here thinking, you know what? It's a tough loss for him, man. But you know what, Ross, go ahead and play the picks for you. You mind putting up the picks? Look at that right there. Look at him. Look at him. Oh man. Oh. Oh man, I love it. You suck, Duke. Go home.
I've never seen those images until now. That's crazy. Yeah, I know when Duke was folding, you was in the house just jumping up and joy, jumping up. Oh my God, I can't believe Duke doing this.
I was in the bar in Philadelphia celebrating. That's what I was doing.
Oh my God. It was people. Was it? Just answer me yes or no. Was it people around you celebrating?
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
There were lots of people celebrating. They were ecstatic. People won money. People were buying shots, buying rounds for everyone. Duke's out of the picture. Let's go, Houston. Oh my God.
America, I love y'all, but y'all some damn haters. Y'all should never celebrate somebody's loss. That's terrible. I ain't get on here and celebrate nobody losing, but that's okay. That's okay. It is what it is. And ladies and gentlemen, one more thing. Them pictures you saw, that was really me Saturday night. I mean, that's how I felt. I had a tear going down. I was crying. I was pissed. I mean, if it's a such thing as piss captivity, through the roof. Like, I was that man. So it's good to see that my co-host has my back. So
man, you know you're my guy, man. You know you're my guy, but I had to do it. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
I get you. No, bro, the way they lost, it was heartbreaking. Like, I can't even run from it. It was terrible. And anybody that dislikes Duke, loved it. And anybody that loved Duke, they don't even want to talk about that game. They like, man, we got the Boozer twins coming. We need to hit this NIL. We need to hit this transfer portal. So that's what we're going to do. And if we get in this position next year, hopefully we can close the deal. I like what Coach John Shire said at the end of the game. We didn't play our best. We didn't. When the rubber hit the road, we didn't play our best. So the world was excited that Duke lost. Congratulations. Houston won that game. Congratulations on Houston winning that game. But again, congratulations on your national champions, the Florida Gators on the men's side and the Uconn, the Connecticut Huskies on the women's side. We need to burn that picture too. I never want to see that picture.
Play it again. Ross, play it again. Put it up again. Put it up again.
That's my girl too. That's my girl right there. Y'all making fun of my girl. Don't do that. It's crazy.
Oh, that's great.
That's a good Duke fan.
Awesome.
Now she's being embarrassed for the rest of her life. She's a good Duke fan. When we lose like that, I mean, it hurts. Like, that hurts. Like, that's crazy. I've never seen the team. John, all joking aside, before we get out of here, have you ever seen a team lose like that?
No. I mean, But we saw it twice. We saw it twice in the Final Four, quite frankly. We saw it with Duke, and then we then in turn saw it from Houston, who did that.
Houston, yeah.
So
yeah,
we saw it twice.
Yeah, man. But Houston was never up 6 with 30 seconds left. You know what I'm saying? Like that to me, that's the most hurtful part. Like you're 30 seconds away from going to the national championship. And I'll take it a step further. If Florida played how they did against Houston against Duke, Duke would have won the national championship. Now I don't know if Duke would have been able to pressure them like how Houston was, but I think if Florida played like that, Duke would have won the national championship. But
shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, I'm in that crew. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. There's next year for Duke. Again, congratulations, UConn. Congratulations, Florida, national champions, men and women college basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching episode 33 of the best sports show out, Highly Opinionated. For the best producer in the game, the best editor in the game, the best guy in the game, Ross, the best co-host in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, I say Highly Opinionated is the best sports show. Let's just do 1A. One Highly Opinionated, 1A, the Club JG podcast. Make sure you guys take a listen, watch that, check out for that. John is killing y'all, giving y'all great stuff every week, man. Brother, salute to you, man. You're doing a hell of a job.
Appreciate you, my guy.
For JG, I'm merely Josh. We'll see you next week.